The Monk Who Danced with the Gods. An ancient tale from the hidden highlands of the Kaarvata Monastery. Long ago, nestled between the sacred cliffs of the eastern skyhold, stood a monastery, untouched by time Kaarvata, where silence was holy and movement was sin. It was said that the monks of Kaarvata could meditate for 7 days without blinking, chant in tones that echoed through stone, and walk barefoot over ice without pain. Their devotion was known across empires. Among them lived a young monk named Revata, unlike any they had seen in 100 generations. Revata came to the temple as an orphan left at the gates during the monsoon, wrapped in silk that bore no family crest. He grew into manhood with a bright spirit, quick hands, and a heart always drawn to rhythm. While other monks meditated with closed eyes, Revata tapped his fingers on stone. While they walked in still lines, he twirled beneath the Bodhi tree at dusk. When they recited sacred chants in gravel tones, he danced, barefoot, to the sound of his own hum. To him, movement was prayer. Every spin, every leap, was a conversation with the skies. He believed the gods listened more to joy than silence, and for that, they called him a heretic. The elders of Kaarvata were men of tradition. They believed discipline was the only path to divinity. They scorned emotion. They feared laughter. And they feared Revata. He drew crowds. Even the younger monks began mimicking his movements in secret, under moonlight. Outsiders came not to hear sermons, but to witness the dancing monk swirl like a storm of light in the temple courtyards. The elders warned him, "Stillness is sacred. Your dancing mocks the gods." To which Revata bowed and replied, "If silence is how you listen, then movement is how I speak." Shameful, disobedient, dangerous. The elders saw no choice. In the coldest season, they planned to banish him to send him across the glacier plains where none returned. A pilgrimage of atonement, they called it. But their plan did not belong to them alone. For the gods had been watching. On the night of the moon festival, when thousands gathered to light lanterns and pray, Revata stepped into the central temple courtyard, where no monk had danced in over 400 years. The bells were not rung, the drums were not beaten. Still, he danced. He danced with arms open to the sky, feet like wind over stone, spinning like a leaf in a divine storm. His movements were not wild. They were deliberate. Every gesture ancient, reborn. His body wrote verses in the air. And then, the ground began to hum. The great statues of the gods began to glow. Flames erupted on the altar, not in destruction, but in golden light. The wind howled through the monastery like a chorus of ancestors, and the sky split open with a voice. This is worship. This is an offering. This is devotion in its most sacred form. The crowd fell to their knees. Even the elders trembled. The wind carried Revata high into the air, and a golden mist wrapped around his body. He did not fall. He floated, dancing still as lotus petals rained from the sky and the temple bells rang without touch. When he landed, barefoot and calm, the earth beneath him had formed a pattern, an eternal spiral etched in stone, like the footprints of a god. The gods had spoken. The punishment turned to praise, and the monks of Kaarvata, once silent in pride, now bowed in humble wonder. Revata never asked for a title, nor did he take a seat among the elders. He continued to dance each morning with the sun, and each night with the stars. To this day, the dance of Revata is performed once a year by monks in white robe excellent until they move, quiet until the rhythm lifts them. And in the heart of every temple, where incense curls like memory, it is whispered, sometimes the gods don't want you to kneel. Sometimes they want you to dance. This is the tale of the monk who found the divine not in silence but in rhythm. A soul who dared to move when all others stood still. May his story remind us that faith wears many faces, and sometimes the sacred speaks through the unexpected. Follow Folktales of Many Tribes for more stories where myth and spirit, love and rebellion, and tradition and transformation all meet at the crossroads of wonder.